Yeah, that's probably squared.
Across Vancouver Island this election campaign, forestry workers, conservationists, and community members have been gathering to watch a documentary that also brings together the different sides of the issue of forestry in BC in hopes of fostering dialogue over what its future is. The film Silvicola is a non-judgmental and non-narrated account of how forests factor in the lives of many British Columbians, from tree fallers to tree planters and Indigenous people.
If we destroy it all, I don't think there's any going back.
You know, I've done a lot of clear cutting and all old growth, and it's just not, it's not the way that, you know, it can be done.
All the conversations about not making it to this political fight and trying to bring everyone together, because like if loggers want their kids to be loggers, then we need to have forests for them to log, and we need to build things out of wood.
I think it is the election issue. The environment, you know, a great environment is taking care of the people.
Forestry in BC is a major economic driver, but at times also has been a source of conflict between communities or First Nations who rely on it and those who want old forests left intact, their biodiversity needed to defend against climate change. The province recognizes a balance is needed and since 2020 has had a roadmap to find it. A new future for old forests lays out 14 actions for a paradigm shift over how old-growth trees are logged, how biodiversity is protected, First Nations are included, and the economies of communities are safeguarded. Advocates like Jens Viting with the BC Sierra Club are pushing the government to make the changes. They say despite some progress, it's been too slow.
This is a critical time, an important election, and we hope that voters in BC will reflect about the web of life, the forests in BC, the rights of Indigenous peoples. All of these things are connected.
BC is 950,000 square kilometers in size, nearly 60% of it's publicly managed forest, with 2,000 square kilometers harvested each year. Old-growth forests make up around 22% of that, and the industry employs 56,000 people and provides nearly $2 billion in government revenue. But there's concern that current practices aren't sustainable, that old forests need more preservation to offset climate change and extreme weather events like droughts, wildfires, and floods. The pressure BC's forests are facing has resulted in conflict in places like Fairy Creek, but also in resource-based communities where forest jobs have been in free fall. BC's political parties are all making promises. The BC NDP says it's on the right path and will continue to make progress if returned to office. The BC Conservatives are promising a sector overhaul to stop the free fall of mill closures, while the BC Greens are the only party vowing to stop clear-cut industrial logging in favor of more eco-friendly practices in lockstep with First Nations.
But yeah, come in this way so you can see here. I just want to point out this old dead tree is from the time before they logged this 100 years ago. So that could have been growing maybe 500 years ago.
Out in forests like those around Cumberland, voters are mulling their options, while ecologists like Eric Piccola try to raise awareness of the long-term gains of managing forests differently.
Why wouldn't we want to help them to help us? By restoring these ecosystems, it's still going to cost us less than the billions and trillions we're going to try and outbuild climate change. The longer and older we let these ecosystems go, they're going to keep on helping us and storing carbon.
There is hope in places like the Comox Valley that collaboration between all sides of this issue will provide the path forward for forestry in BC. People pushing for that outcome say it must be demanded from politicians seeking votes in this election. Chad Pawson, CBC News, Cumberland.